This is DLK Productions presenting my newest mock, you guys. What is up, you guys? As you guys can see, I have my newest Lego Star Wars mock on a Doth. And this is one of my biggest mocks I have built. This is 4 gray base plates. It may not seem, but so this is a gray base plate to the line right there. And then there's another one to this point. So it's here to this part right here. So that is all gray base plate. And this is my largest mock so far of 2020. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get on with it. So, as you guys can see, this mock is extremely large in the battlefield. I put a lot of texture in, and it took around 200 hours, I would say, of just constant need, especially with this, of me constantly doing this. This is 2 layers of water or clear pieces. I made sure that one took me at least a full 60 hours. I took at least 3 days on this nonstop of just working on this and working it out. And this is one of my big detail mocks. I really wanted to get into detail. I really want to start working with that. And I bought 200 more of these clear bluish studs. I just thought you guys should know that. So for my newer mocks, I have those. But as you guys can tell, this is a fortress. This is an Adoth fortress. So here is the fortress right here, you guys. We have a battlefield. We have a little bit of a terrain difference. Complete terrain difference. And right here we have a tank exploding. A Republic tank that has been exploding. This is the newer tank that they have. I do not have the older version built, so I could not use that one exploding. So this is right next to the edge of the water, and the water is like going off towards, and it continues on, and it's like this, it gets deeper, so this is like light, and then this is getting darker. And then there's like a little bit higher up, as you guys can see, it goes up a little bit more, because I wanted to make it look like waves. And as you guys can see, we have some growth on the sides because this is more dirt and more muddy versus compared to the sand where you aren't going to be able to grow much on it. And as we move forward, you just have a lot of clone troopers dying on the beach. This is kind of like a beach run, like where they're running up to the beach and they just keep getting slaughtered. And so I just wanted to have that. So you have all these clones running up. You have Anakin Skywalker and you have Obi-Wan Kenobi and their battalions. So we have the 212th and the 501st. And Commander Cody is up here, not on with his jetpack. As you guys can see in the new Star Wars, the Clone Wars, he does have his jetpack on, and I wanted to make sure to have a jetpack with him. That was actually a last-minute detail I did today, since it is February 21st, the first day of Clone Wars, the last season. But as we move on, you just have a bunch of clones running up just to try and take over positions up here. So right here, this is where they're trying to get, is this little cliff. And as you guys can see, I did put a lot of detail. I did not use any of these bricks. I constantly did more and all the building of it. And yes, I did not have enough pieces to fill in the little cracks, but I thought it wouldn't be that too noticeable since it is going from mud to rocky, that it should be good. And you just have a bunch of rock formations going up and over, and it goes in and out, in and out. And as we head back down, you guys can see we have a cannon right here. And there's 2 cannons protecting this fortress, one on the fortress and one off to the side to protect this little cliff side. And you guys can see that it is a little bit noticeable, so they didn't really try and hide it. This is like a definite, this is a scare tactic, you'd say. So this is kind of what is taking on the tank right now. If you guys can see, it's kind of aimed like at the tank. I moved it. It was like aimed right there. And it is moving forward to aim at the Jedis right here. And here, mostly Obi-Wan. But they are trying to take it down so it can't destroy any more things. So we just have a speeder bike right down there. we have all the troopers coming up. A little bit of details, a little bit of grass pieces. We have an explosion right here, which I tried to make, and we also have another explosion right here. This explosion has an Adoth character. He was like on the top, like shooting down, and as you guys can see, most of these characters are running towards this cliff, because they think this is the easiest way to climb, is to climb up here, because this is kind of like very slippery. This is more foot holding, so you can get a better foothold. And over in the far corner, you guys can see I did do a little different, just tried to experiment with some plant ideas on how to build some plants. And we'll move on. And I do have the red trees, like they're blooming or they're dying out. And we have a dead tree over there. So we just have the 2 red trees. And then as we move into the more forest area, as you guys know, I hope you guys have been noticing these. These are my Adoth mocks. I kind of wanted to make this like a little teaser about how this is like, I kind of want to make this like a level in Star Wars. I thought that'd be a little bit cool. So I chose mini kits. So if you guys go back in my previous Adoth mocks, most of them should have them. I know for a fact one of them does. I'm not positive if the Corner City does, but you guys will have to see for that one. Guys have to let me know in the comments if I did or not, but I know in the rest of the mocks I did do them. As we move on, I have really large trees, or larger trees, I should say. And so we have Commander Cody right here, and we have an airborne trooper, and we have another airborne trooper. He was shot out of the sky, sadly, before, so he was above. He was like right here at the top, near the top, and he fell because of these troopers over here. And he's like falling down, so that's the cause of him falling. So he's not kind of like hang gliding or whatever. And then we move down, we have jungle troopers and 212 troopers down there, and we have more grass pieces coming down, as you guys can see. And we have other trees. We have my little rose area, which I love to put in every single one of my mocks that has grass. And you guys can see, if you guys can tell, there is a lot of different changes. This, I think, is 2 to 3 grass high, with the end of it being 1 at the end. And we have trees, tree fallen, and then we have this huge tree. This is one of the largest and thickest tree of them all. And as you guys can see, I did this from the 2020 event calendar. I just added him in. I thought he'd be a little cool to have that, add that in. And then we move down. We have more grass, just up and downs, and then we have this little stream, you'd say. I tried to do as much detail to it as possible. I thought that'd be super cool to try and add as much detail. And as you guys can see, I have trees along this side. Like, I tried to experiment with a few trees, so there's like 4 trees right here, and some logs down there, and just the water rushing down, rushing, and then like escaping off. And so, yeah, that is the battlefield, you guys. And let's move on to the actual fortress itself. So you guys can see right here, I have a gunship. This gunship has dropped off certain troops. I do not have a legion for these purple guys yet, and this Jedi. So if you guys want to put down in the comments, if you guys, to put down names or ideas, and I will, legions also, our new name for him. And then we have Sev, and then we have a normal trooper with a bazooka. The bazooka is actually going to fire at this cannon, which there is going to explode this cannon, so they can't destroy any more troops. But we have these five people, 4 troopers and 1 Jedi coming out, and this 1 Jedi has 2 lightsabers. As you guys can see, we have a droid being struck by a lightsaber, and then we have a Doth trooper being killed by a trooper, and then we have 2 guards on top, which were shooting down from the top of the fortress, as you guys can see. And we have a radio tower which swivels, which I'll give you a better angle for this, as you guys can see. And this is like a little radio tower or satellite that you guys can see, and it does move. It does move up and down just a little bit, not much, but enough for it to actually do enough. And then we have some shields, riot shields, or actual shields that Adoth people use. And then over here we have fuel containers, which I actually thought would be a little bit pretty cool. Is to add in is this is a little landing platform, so they will add some fuel to the ships, and then you just have a bunch of cargo over. You have some weapons, and then you got more cargo, and this is all flat tile, just so you guys know. The top of it is all flat tile. So as we move over, this is over here we have these graded plates, and that is to like for the ships to land. So this is more like a walking area versus a ship landing area. And these lights, as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see very well, but you can definitely see them by the purple dude over here in that corner right there. Those are the lights that tell you where the ships kind of end out and you can't go anymore. And I have lifted the wing of the gunship to show you guys this cannon that has been exploded. This cannon was just recently exploded. With the ship coming down before it had to land, it had to have a way to land in that. The cannon wasn't able to, if it was there, it would have destroyed the ship, which they can't allow because they need to infiltrate this base. And I did just have some smoke coming out of it and explosions, like it hit like a fuel tank, and now it's just exploding even more with more flames. And the cannons are dislodged, as you guys can see. It doesn't really have, you just have fire coming out of the base and all that. And that is really it for the top. But so that is the top of the MOC. But I will be moving this so we can get into the middle of it. So this is my whole MOC about the whole thing, and I will actually take off this top of it, as you guys can see, and it's super simple. It just slides right off. That's the best part about this MOC, is that it's pretty much all slidable, so it's pretty easy to come off of. And then you guys come in here, and you just have a bunch of actual buildings and all that. You have a bunch of rooms, and this is a fortress of crystals. If you guys have ever read the comics, there's Bacta Tank crystals. This is, Adoth people are known for their Bacta Tank crystals. This is supposed to heal and generate your healing nanites or healing abilities a lot faster, as you guys can see in Star Wars The Clone Wars multiple times, and in the Star Wars trilogy of Luke, when Luke gets injured and he's in a Bacta Tank. The crystals are actually red, so they actually put them with a translucent agent to make them more translucent. So we'll start off with the very back of it. So as you guys can see here, this is just a very long hallway right here, and there's a bunch of cargo, and then you have a sentry. And as you move down, we have these designs. These designs were actually really nicely, I liked how they were formed. I like the circles. I didn't know if I was going to turn them the other way to make them that way. But as we get down here, you guys notice that one is falling out. Yes, that is the case. I did that on purpose. Yes, don't worry. It's not broken. But you guys can push these out. Is that these are all crates. They're actual crates. As you guys can see, each of them have crates. I just did them out, and so you guys can see them each have a crate, and they all have crystals, different kinds of crystals. So that's what they each are, and I thought that would be pretty cool just to have some crates. And yes, I do have different colored crates, like brown and green and gray, and this is the back of it, kind of, if you guys can see. That's kind of like the whole back of it, and they are just empty slots. It is really simple. If you guys want me to do a tutorial on it, I can show you guys. It's really not that hard. I bet you guys are like already solving it in your heads by just watching the video. And you just have some designs on the floor, a little bit of reactors on this side of the wall, and then you just have more crates, more crates, and then you also have right here, you have a little like an assembly line, but for crystals. It's like to make them more prominent or to make them more powerful, you'd say, like making a crystal and then making it more beautiful, you'd say, from a raw crystal to a perfect crystal. These crystals are more perfect than these raw crystals, and these are blue translucent crystals, while these are red translucent crystals, and red are over here also. And this is back here. They did have a person here loading them on, and this person has actually run, and this kind of goes out, so it takes a while for it to come out, but these crystals come out of like 3 to 4 of each of these big crystals. And over here you guys can see I have a lot of crystals, just storage shelves of it. And as we move down, we just have more storage crates and just an assembly line, and so it just goes down and down. And then as we move over, you guys can see we have a guard stationed at the table, at the room of the headquarters, and this is the main room. This Adoth trooper is actually getting a plans or memory card with that, and getting it, and this table is inactive, not active right now. And each of these wall alerts, there's an alert, there's just a bunch of things. This Adoth character is canceling or deleting things, so because they don't know if they can hold this position for very long. And it just goes around. And we have, I just personally like these techniques. I did get a few techniques I experimented with. I thought this would be kind of cool to see. I did use these pieces, I know, that were not as usable, or I didn't like them as much, but I thought they would add a nice design to them. And then you'll have a little weapons carry over in the corner. And then we just move on out of the room, and then you just come forward. He has a shield, which is to protect the head person, which is right here. As you guys can see, she's wearing a pink uniform, so she's more in charge. And as you guys can see, I built 2 crates, or 2 holders of crates, and the control panel's right over here. When these 2 are like magnetic, so they connect to each other, and then you just have like engine back there, and you just have, this is like the final product of it, you'd say. This is like their first batch of it. And then in this box, that is actually supposed to go in here, but the lid is changed. But the one reason why this is actually used is because it's a Sith holocron. Yes, this is a Sith holocron I have made, and the Jedi really do want that. They actually don't know it's here. They just know this is a plant, and they need to stop and get some more back-to-tank things for their clones, because they do need them. And as you go down in the base, or in the base of it, you guys can see we have her in the corner, and we have a guard next to her. And then you just have the inside of it, and you just have a few crystals, because they haven't mined them all. And yes, it is not as nice, but it is held up very nicely by these actual stud holders, or the little ramps. And those hold them up pretty well, I like, personally. I think they hold really well with everything. And then you guys just see the back of it. This is kind of undetailed. This was the part where I kind of started running out of pieces of dark gray and light gray. But yeah, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is a really long video. Just so you guys know, I may not be posting for a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my floor is kind of wet. Like if you hear splashing, it's because my basement has flooded, or my Lego room has flooded, I should say itself. So I won't be able to post as many videos as I really want to. So it may be one every 2 weeks, maybe one every 1.5 weeks. Hopefully it won't be that, but hopefully we can get the flood away and to fix that really fast. I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and please like and subscribe. And this is also for Mike and Ike Productions contest. This is one of his and many others. I just did this for Mike and Ike's contest. I did the 200, mentioned the 200 a few times. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.